I joined Nourish because I went on an international project to Cameroon and I loved it. And I loved the people I went with, and they really seemed to have the same values as I did. And they couldn't stop talking about how excited they were for other projects to come and how awesome their student group was. And they really recruited me, and so I, of course, had to join. And I knew that I wanted to go on more international projects, and so I fell in love with Nourish.
So I joined Nourish because I signed up for a lot of clubs at the involvement fair, and I went to like 10 different student meetings at the beginning of the year. And Nourish was the only one that I felt like people were the most friendly at and the most welcoming. So I came back and I fell in love with it, and that's why I'm in Nourish.
I first heard about Nourish at an event here at Ohio State called the Involvement Fair, and they told us about a party that they were having, a social. So I went, and it was a lot of fun with a lot of really cool people, like our current president Maxie, and a few of my roommates joined, and we've been in it to this day.
I came to the first meeting to get away from my roommate, and then while I was at the meeting, they invited me to the social, and I went to the social and met people like Jorge.
And I went to the first social and met people like Anna, and I just really feel like we found our niche as freshmen.
So I was volunteering with another organization, and there was this girl who I had never met, and she was standing next to me, and we were doing our work, and she wouldn't stop talking about Nourish. She just kept going on, and I had never heard of Nourish International before. I was like, what the heck? But it sounded so cool, so I went home that night and I looked it up, and I was at the next meeting that week.
Nourish International because Akram Jabir actually told me about the group and it sounded really interesting and like a great message.
I went to my first meeting with Nourish, and well, this is cool. I think I'll come back. And so I came to my second Nourish meeting, and every person in that room remembered my name and said hi to me. And that was it for me. I was like, I'm going to keep coming back. These people are awesome. Now, 2.5 years later, these people are my best friends, and it's pretty awesome.
Relationships I've developed with everyone in the group, we've become very close. We hang out in Nourish, outside of Nourish every day. I'll see at least one member and say what's up on campus, and it's just cool.
Coming back to Nourish, mainly just because of the people. It's something I look forward to doing every single week, and I just look forward to seeing everyone. And these are some great friendships that we've built on a common cause that we can all work for something together. And I think those are the best kinds of friendships.
I think you're definitely right. Yeah, like the people are really amazing. Like they're all friendly. They're welcoming first off, and also like they all work together for a great mission. So I think that's very neat.
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggest reasons I kept coming back to Nourish.
I kept coming back to Nourish International because they really made me feel welcome there. They really appreciated any time I volunteered for any venture, and it was just a friendly environment I didn't find in any other student org.
How do I spread the message of Nourish International? Well, it's pretty much all I talk about. Every other sentence that comes out of my mouth is Nourish related. So, if you're around me, you pretty much have to know what Nourish is.
I spread the message of Nourish International to fellow students by just talking about Nourish in class and other events I go to. My major is EADS, which is Environment, Economics, Development, and Sustainability. So we do talk a lot about poverty and ways to fix poverty in sustainable ways. So I just bring up Nourish anytime I can, and it really is a good outlet.
It's nice just to mention in passing, honestly, to maybe like lower classmen, if you're looking for a way to meet new people on campus, or if you're just looking for a way to give back. People are usually drawn in by that.
In terms of spreading the message, I feel like if it's something that you actually believe in, it's easy to just talk about. It's like second nature, It's like it's just any other topic that you really admire or you support. So, especially when they have like big events going on, I feel like it's easy to like convey the message to other people on what Nourish is, what's going on, and it gets the people just to like get, increase our brand name and like our name in general.
And like you said, when it's something you believe in, when it's something genuine, your message, I feel like it's a lot more easy for our fellow students to understand, and they're a lot more receptive to it.
For sure.
I think it's really hard to condense what Nourish is into a couple of sentences. So what I usually do is tell students about my personal experiences and how this student organization has helped me through college.
The best way to recruit new members is to invite them to socials because then Nourish International becomes more than just a one-time meeting every Sunday and just this group of kids that you sit with 1 hour every Sunday. It becomes more of an organization and more of a group where teamwork is needed.
Any type of social event, people can get feel laid back and not feel like they're being recruited, but you can spread the message of Nourish to them, and they usually catch on pretty quick.
I believe like the most effective strategies to recruit new members are to make them feel welcomed and like important. Like people always sign up for different organizations and they just come to meetings and that's about that. That's about it. We want people to be part of our organization. We want them to have responsibility. We want them to like develop skills so they can use them. We want to make everyone feel important. And on top of that, like we want our members to like hang out outside of Nourish. Nourish is like a one-time hour-long meeting, and if you're not on the exec team, you're barely gonna see anybody. So we like to have socials, get people involved, and like actually get to know who they really are.
I think our chapter has been so successful in recruiting new members because once you join, you can tell that everyone is passionate about what they're doing and everyone truly cares about each other in this group.
What separates Nourish from other organizations is that we are a smaller organization compared to some of the bigger ones like UNICEF here on campus, but because we're smaller, it gives everyone in Nourish an opportunity to take on responsibilities and play a huge role in the organization.
We're not just the thing that makes Nourish unique is that we're not just writing a check and sending it away to nowhere. We take these funds and go to a community that knows exactly what they need, and we just give them the opportunity to actually make or build whatever they need in their communities.
Some organizations, what makes us unique. I think instead of just like giving people aid or money, we're actually also sending people to support our mission. So first off, we pick an NGO that we want to work with. We're picking an organization that we want to work with, and we're like helping a community that want to be helped, and they're reaching out for us too. So I think this like understanding, like this mutual understanding, goes a long way. And also just instead of just sending money out there, we're also sending our members as well as our OSU students as interns and to go and volunteer abroad. So I think just like believing in the mission and also just supporting the mission financially and with people, manpower, I think is one of the most important things.
Working hands on with the specific needs of the people that we're helping is, I think, the biggest point of difference. And that's something that I try to emphasize when recruiting new members.
I think Nourish International is vastly different than other service organizations on campus because we don't just send volunteers into different countries to teach them how to be successful. We actually go to work with locals to see what method works best for them. We send volunteers not to teach, but to learn.
We are in college. We're busy. We have jobs, we have internships, we have class and homework, we have our friends, and we're in other student organizations, and we're doing a million things every single day. So, to come to all the Nourish events and meetings, you have to make Nourish really a priority in your life. And how do you get people to keep coming? And that's really hard. I think the first thing you have to do is pick a time that's really easy for people to come to. So maybe send out a doodle poll or something and let people tell you when they're available. And then you can set your meeting times for when people can actually be there instead of on Tuesday nights when every other student organization on your campus is having their meetings. Yeah, and other than that, make the meetings fun. Nourish shouldn't be a chore. People will come to meetings if they know they're going to have fun when they're there. They know they're going to see their friends. They know, they're going to do work, but it's not going to be anything that they don't want to do. I think that's really important.
The most common reason Nourish events are harder to attend is usually because of the times that they fall. We as an organization have tested the waters on which times work best for which different ventures and events, but it's still a learning process, and some of the times are not good for anyone with their class schedule or work schedule.